And so here we are today, and we now have a new model for trust and a new model for security. And this model is not closed, and it doesn't use walls, and it doesn't use gates. It's the open public blockchains. And they develop trust by giving a platform that can mediate without being under the control of any organization or institution, that allows individuals to scale their trust to people they don't know because they can trust the rules of consensus, not each other. And they will have settlement of their transactions and verification of their data by a neutral platform that is not controlled by anyone, by an open, public, transparent platform that is not controlled by anyone, by a censorship-resistant platform that even though totalitarian states hate, they cannot shut it down. They cannot stop it from operating. You can't take Bitcoin out of your country, but you can take your country out of Bitcoin and not share in the benefits. And that applies to every open public blockchain. These are resistant to censorship. They're resistant to control. They give us a transparent platform where we can build trust. Trust between individuals, trust between organizations that are collaborating, new open forms of collaboration, ad hoc companies, decentralized autonomous organizations, work collaboratives, charities that are transparent and allow us to track the spending of money across the world, international payments across borders without controls, without censorship, without the privilege that all of us in this room share to not only have a bank account, but even more importantly, to have an ID that is well documented and to be a full member of a society in which we are not a hunted illegal immigrant or a refugee or a suppressed minority or a woman in a country that is not allowed to own property. And the blockchain sees none of that. It's completely invisible to these platforms because they are neutral. So instead of a model where we have a closed center, we have a model where everything is open and public and auditable by everyone, where security emerges not from the control of one institution, but from the collaboration of tens of thousands of nodes, each checking every result to verify it, and each coming together in consensus to say, this is the truth of the last 10 minutes. And I can't control it, but I can verify it. This model is going to change how we do trust and security across the world. It's going to change how we do collaboration across the world. It's going to change the nature of the modern corporation. It's going to change the nature of commerce and trade, because for the first time in human history, every human being on the planet has access to financial services without asking permission, without showing identity, without having to belong to a certain class or status, even if their government doesn't want them to have that, by the simple installation of an application. Software is the new form of banking. And a lot of you may hear the idea that these open blockchains are about making a one world currency. That could be nothing further from the truth. Or about allowing everyone to be banked without a bank. Or to bank the unbanked, those who do not have access. And I'm here to tell you that what these platforms are here to give us is a choice to engage in a platform of trust through consensus that frees us to trust many and to scale our social organizations to massive levels and engage with the entire international population of humanity without barriers. It is not about banking the unbanked. It's about unbanking all of us. It's not about creating new trusted institutions. It's about creating trust without institutions. Trust through software. Trust as a protocol. Trust over IP. TIP. And what do the companies say when you tell them, there's this new trust platform, you can put all of your trust parameters and use this trust protocol in an open, public, transparent, neutral way? The same thing they said in 1995. Isn't that the platform that's being used by drug dealers, terrorists, pornographers, and scammers? Yes, it is. Just like the internet. And it's also being used by 2 billion people sharing cat videos. And it's also being used by thousands of people today, hundreds of thousands of people tomorrow, millions of people the day after, to provide to their children sanitation, education, and a future that cannot be confiscated, cannot be seized, cannot be currency controlled, cannot be shut down by every totalitarian government. It gives people voice and freedom of expression, because without the freedom to transact, without the freedom to associate, your freedom of expression and your freedom to vote means absolutely nothing. If we go to a world where digital cash is the only cash that exists, if we eradicate cash, as so many governments are trying to do, if we eradicate the ability to transact anonymously, individual to individual, every government that controls that system can turn off your economic life by flipping one bit. You went to the wrong protest, you voted for the wrong party, you talked to the wrong person on the internet, you no longer exist. You have no income, you can't buy food, you can't travel on the trains, you can't take a plane. You think I'm exaggerating? This system exists today. It's called Sesame Credit. It's being trialed in China. It has excluded 100 million people from using public transportation and flying across the country. It denies people access to fundamental services by virtue of how politically they engage with others. Every country in the world that gives this ability to a government is one bad election from losing their freedom forever. We have a choice. We are at a crossroads. And in this crossroads, we have to pick between a future where trust is a decentralized, open protocol that everybody participates in, or a future where trust is controlled by narrower centralized interests that use that to control our lives and to prevent us from engaging with each other, that create tiers not just of citizen versus non-citizen, but of human versus subhuman, where people are judged by their credit score as unworthy to participate in the global economy, by their lack of identity as unworthy to participate in commerce. And you know what open public blockchains like Bitcoin say? Everyone is worthy. You don't even need to be human to participate. Software agents can do it for you. There is no requirement for ID. There's no requirement to even prove you have a heartbeat. On the internet, no one knows you're a dog. You remember that expression? On Bitcoin, no one knows that your dog is a millionaire. Maybe not. But it's a really interesting future we're building here.